Hi guys, I'm Zach from NerdWorks Media, and in today's video, I had nothing else to film again. However, I had a cool discussion that we could have, or story time, basically. Some of you will know Thomas, who has the YouTube channel Barn Builds SA. He has a couple of cars that he's been building up for the past while. He had a Mitsubishi EVO, I can't remember if it was a 4 or a 5, but anyway, he had this Mitsubishi EVO. And it just so happened that at the same time that he was looking to sell that car is when I was looking to sell my grand's car and buy a daily driver. So yes, I'm sure you can see where the story is going. I almost got a Mitsubishi EVO for a daily driver. Now we're going to go into the whole discussion on why that didn't happen, but anyway. So basically, he was asking, actually the same kind of money as what I paid for the Swift Sport, keeping in mind that that's damaged, so it's not the most clean example, so it wasn't that expensive. He was asking plus minus the same money for the EVO. The difference was the EVO, he had pulled the engine out, and that's kind of just, it was a rolling chassis. I think he was selling it with the engine, but the engine was damaged, so you'd have to rebuild it. Now, with that being said, he also had a fully built, I believe, or he was planning to have all the parts for a fully built 4G63, obviously, to swap back in. And obviously, being a mate of mine, we were discussing maybe I buy the whole set and then I finish the job. Unfortunately, and this is kind of where the downside started, that would mean a lot more money being put into the car, money I didn't have to put into the car because already I was trying to fix this. Because remember, I was having clutch issues with this, and now I've got ECU issues. But anyway, my point being, there was a lot of money that still would have had to be spent on their car to get it in good running condition, to get it driving properly. It would have been a lot of time, which I didn't have. Also, I needed a daily driver there and now. Fuel efficiency probably would have been worse, but I'm going to be honest, I don't really... At this point, even with the Sport, which is supposed to be very fuel efficient, I get stuck in really bad traffic, which then just eats fuel consumption. It's just kind of what it is. So, kind of irrelevant. So, anyway, my point being, it would have been very, very cool, but yes, I almost bought a EVO 4 or 5, I can't remember exactly what shape it was, as a daily driver, and it would have been an awesome story to have, been able to bring that to the channel and stuff. Unfortunately, it just kind of didn't work out at the same time and same stuff. Also, it was Swaziland registered. I can't remember if it was Lesotho or Swaziland, but yeah, it was not registered locally, which it would have made it a way bigger task to register it locally. Now, Thomas did find somebody who could have registered it locally and without much drama, let me say, but yeah, it wasn't, and it would have been more money and more this and that and this and that to have put down just to get the car done and registered. I don't necessarily regret the fact that I had to miss out on that. It would have been very cool and a very cool opportunity, but no, it wouldn't have worked out. I needed a daily driver like on the point. I couldn't wait 5 months to build up a daily driver and then also potentially not have it be very reliable. So just going on stories of cars that I could have bought instead of the Swift Sport. I did find recently, after I bought the Swift Sport, which was mildly upsetting, but anyway, there was okay, I'm not very versed in Lexus and so on and so forth. I know a fair amount of the Lexi, but more so like the recent shapes, not the older shapes. So I know that there was a Lexus IS 200, and then the 300 had either the beams or a 1J, I believe. Yeah, and then for the 300, basically, that was either called the IS 300 or the Altezza. And then within that shape had a couple of different shapes. So there was like a whole bunch of different body variations, including a wagon. I found a wagon with the 2JZ, which was also an option that they had. I can't remember if it was a 1J or 2J actually, but anyway, it had one of the JZ engines, turbo, I believe also, It was an automatic, but Wagon 2J fucking baller cruiser. And it was in budget. I think it also was BOTS registered, but Botswana register is a lot easier to change into South African register than Swaziland or Lesotho or anything like that. So it wasn't as bad, and it would have been like a really cool thing. And I won't like, even my dad was kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's cool. The only problem is, I mean, it probably would have needed a fair amount of fixes. Also, you know, it's not just a jump in and drive. It was auto, and I'd want to manual swap it, which would have been a whole fucking drama, because then you'd have to put like a pedal and that whole kit in it and so on and so forth. But that would have been really cool, I won't lie. So, yeah. But I don't know. I think there's a good reason I landed up getting the Sport, and it's because it was probably the best option out of, like, let me put it this way, it was the most responsible option. I'm not going to say the coolest option, but it was the most responsible option. I will say this for those of you who are on the channel and watching and stuff. I don't know how long I'm going to keep the Swift Sport. I don't know if I just had too much hype for the car, or anything like that, because I don't know, I don't even know how to explain myself here. It's been a lot of fun, and I have enjoyed it, and it's fuel efficient, and it's practical, and blah blah blah, but it's boring. I don't know how else to really explain it. I don't know if I just got spoiled from daily driving this with 200 horsepower, but that, don't get me wrong, it's definitely got grunt. I mean, I was actually having a good laugh, because there was a guy in a M2. Don't for a second think that I'm going to say that I gapped an M2. I did not, trust me. What I am going to say is I just got the hit on him, and I was impressed with the fact on how long I managed to hold him off before he passed me. He did very much pass me, don't get me wrong. It's just I held him off for a lot longer than I thought. There was also one of those Mercedes SUVs, but the weird slant back ones that are really ugly. And he thought that he was going to be nice and fast, and again, I held him off reasonably well. He was reeling me in like there was no tomorrow, but I held him off quite well, that eventually did have to slide in behind me when the two lanes merged. Don't get me wrong, the performance of the car is still reasonable. It's actually quite good still, but it's hitting the mark for me. Or I should say, it's just missing the mark for me. Like, I understand reliability point of view is obviously a completely different situation, but a Mazda 6 MPS and a Subaru WRX, even the STI wagons are plus minus in the same bracket, price bracket. Maybe not STI wagons, but the WRX wagons are in the same price bracket. And they've just got so much more grunt. Fine, they're less fuel efficient, but, you know, I don't know. Like I said, fuel efficiency is kind of whatever, because I get stuck in heavy traffic anyway, so my fuel efficiency goes out the window anyway. My point being, there were a lot of cool cars that I almost had the opportunity to get. I hope this has made a good video. I'm sorry that there's just nothing else to film, but yeah. Until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one, where we'll hopefully have the MX running. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Oh yeah, Patreon. Go check out Patreon. You can watch videos there for free early. Cool, thanks, bye.